So to begin today, let's get estimating area on the top of our paper. And yes, draw your line down. So we'll continue the note taking. It is not hard to find the area of shapes made from straight lines. But how do we find the area of shapes made from curved lines? We looked at the same graphic when we did perimeter. Circles have formula, but what about shapes like lakes and islands that are curvy or irregular? Cartographers or map makers often work with irregular shapes, such as the islands of Hawaii. They can only estimate the area. So when we did perimeter, we looked at the beaches that went around, for instance, the big island of Hawaii, compared to like the beaches around Maui. With area today, we are going to be looking at the surface that it actually covers inside each of the islands and strange shape that they have. So how do they estimate? Just like with perimeter, a grid was put over the top. The difference is with perimeter they put a string around it. We are actually going to count the number of square units needed in the picture. So for instance, we would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to decide what to do with that one. 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. The last thing it says is use the scale of the picture to tell which count each count means. So right here, our scale says each one's going to mean 100 meters. So if you would count them, this would be 100 meters, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, so on and so forth. So in this case, you can see the area of Loon Lake and the area of Ghost Lake. They might be completely different. We'd have to count them to be able to estimate them. So let's begin by making a key. The key is going to give us the information we need when we start having to estimate. So on our key, let's start with the first box. So draw yourself 3 boxes down your paper and write the word key. So for the first one, let's say we have something like this. And it's colored in because we're looking at area. Anytime we have less than 1/2, that is going to equal 0. So we're not going to actually count those. Anytime we have something that maybe looks like this, because that's about half of the square. So then that would be equal to 1/2. So far we have 0 and 1/2. What happens if we have something maybe that's, 3/4 of the way filled in? So more than 1/2. Anything that is more than 1/2, we are going to count as 1. The reason is because if it's more than 1/2, then this piece up here that was less than 1/2 would equal out and color that whole thing in. So that's how we get our 1. All right, so let's take a look at one. Now that we have our key made, here's the shape. Again, we are filling in each of the squares. My recommendation to you is to fill in the full squares first. So I would go through and start counting. That will be 1, that's 1, that's 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, now I have to make some decisions. Will this box up here be more than 1, 1/2, or a full? Okay, so that one, because it is more than 1/2, those would also be 1s. Which means these would, and these would, and these would. So now it looks like we need to look at the squares right here. And in this case, you can see that's exactly 1/2. So you can write 1/2 in each of those. So now I would go through and count. When I count, I cross them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I have 28 full ones, and then I have a half and a half, which make 29, and a half and a half, which would make this 30 units squared. So that's the best estimate of that shape is 30 units squared. Mrs. Darrow is now going to hand you out a worksheet, and you are going to do the first ones together. So you're going to do number 1 together, so try it when you get it, and then you'll be checking it on the board. When you are done with the worksheet, make sure you realize, before I forget, the second page, there are a few perimeter questions in there to remind you to go back and look at your perimeter. When you are done today, you are going to be working on any redos,